NASA, Axiom Space and SpaceX are all set to launch the fourth private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. The space mission, in fact, has been termed as Axiom Mission 4. The mission will launch from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, Florida, aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying a New Dragon spacecraft. In fact, the crew is scheduled to dock with the ISS on Thursday, which is June 26, where they will spend about 2 weeks conducting science, outreach, as well as commercial activities.
Of us putting those safety harnesses onto our crew. You can think of them kind of like a seatbelt, but they're a little bit more high-tech than that. And then after that, we do attach umbilicals to the capsule, which provide both breathing air and comms to Dragon. Then we step into suit leak checks and comms checks, which were completed earlier today, before rotating the seats into a reclined position for
Coming
launch.
in from NASA at the moment,
forces are going right through the chests of our astronauts to keep them as comfortable as possible on their roller coaster ride to space.
NASA, Axiom Space and SpaceX all are set to launch the fourth private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. A very big day for us. We have an Indian on board as well, Shubhanshu Shukla. From the left, he is sitting on the second position. If you can see the second seat, that's Shubhanshu Shukla, ladies and gentlemen. The space mission has been termed as Axiom Mission 4. The mission will launch from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, Florida, aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying a New Dragon spacecraft. The aim for the crew is to conduct science, outreach, as well as commercial activities there in space. Like we said before, Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla's Axiom 4 mission to International Space Station is now eyeing a launch.
Left-hand side and live views from inside of our capsule with all of those events that led up to getting our 4 AX4 crew members seated and ready for liftoff.
Dragon SpaceX, good news. Our second side hatch leak check was successful.
And great news there from Mission Control.
The latest that we had reported as far as the weather is concerned, a very crucial, in fact, aspect when we speak about a launch. Earlier today, we reported that the weather is 90% favorable for the launch that Axiom 4 is eyeing for today. It's going to be a 90% favorable for liftoff.
Peggy has been through this once before successfully, and it is the first time for the other 3 crew members, but just seeing each of them all together as a team.
In fact, SpaceX had also posted earlier this morning on their social media profile X. Let me quote the tweet here, that all systems are looking good for Wednesday's launch of Axiom Space 4 mission to the space station, and weather is also 90% favorable for the liftoff. Remember, SpaceX is providing transport for the space mission.
How is the energy out there?
The energy is amazing. The weather is fantastic. It's a little chilly in this room, but we're just hot for this mission. So we're excited to tell you more about the crew, their missions, and what they're going to accomplish on the ISS. This is a special moment for India, Poland, and Hungary. Let's turn our attention now to each space agency represented on board the AX4 mission, beginning with the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO. Their crew member, Shubhanshu Shukla, or Shuks, is our mission pilot. ISRO has been involved in space exploration for over 50 years, but only recently has put a clear emphasis on human exploration. Shuks is making that goal a reality today.
From the Indian Space Research Organization, AX4 pilot Shubhanshu Shukla.
Namaste. I'm Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
A fighter pilot for 15 years, he was selected as one of 4 Indian astronauts in 2020.
Captain Shukla, are you ready for the ride? Will you do some yoga in space like your idol Rakesh Sharma did in 1984?
The first Indian astronaut, Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma, traveled to space in 1984. I grew up reading about him in textbooks and listening to his stories from space. I was deeply, deeply impressed by him. This journey that I'm on, it has been a long one for me. And it started out somewhere. I didn't know that this is the path it is going to finally take. I would say that I have been extremely fortunate and extremely lucky to have gotten the opportunities to first fly all my life, which was a dream job for me, and then have the opportunity to apply to astronaut corps, and now consequently be here. The way this worked out for me was that probably a week before we arrived at Axiom was the time I came to know that I will be going. I was extremely excited to be here. I was very, very happy because this was a possibility for me to actually fly to space. You don't know how to respond to such things.
Shooks' wisdom, the knowledge that he possesses, he could be 130 years old.
For me, having him as my pilot in the Dragon capsule is great. He already has that operational savvy. You know, he's just wicked smart when it comes to spacecraft technologies.
He is very focused, and he will basically go 1, 2, 3, 4 in a record time. I don't even know how he gets there so fast.
The team that I'm flying with on this mission, it is fantastic. I do feel that, I have exceptional crewmates. I will have these crew members for this one flight, but post this mission, these are going to be my friends for life.
It has been an amazing journey. These are moments that really tell you that you are getting to be a part of something that is much larger than yourself. I can only say how extremely fortunate I am to be a part of this.
It is my sincere endeavor through my mission to inspire an entire generation back home in the country. I want to use this opportunity to ignite curiosity among kids. Even if this story, my story, is able to change one life, it would be a huge success for me. I'm Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, and I am the mission pilot for Axiom 4 mission.
I'm joined now by Prasanth Balakrishnan Nair, a fellow Gaganyaan astronaut from ISRO. Papa has trained alongside Shooks for the past 10 months as the backup mission pilot. Papa, thanks for being here today, although I can't imagine where else you'd want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Sonia, for having me.
Well, let's talk about Shooks a little bit. When was the first time you met, and what was that meeting like, and what was your impression of him?
Oh, he's a fantastic guy. So we met a few years back. We are both fighter pilots and we are test pilots. So when we got selected for our own Gaganyaan program, that's when we met. And very few people know this. I am 9 years older to him.
Oh, really?
But I look younger, right?
You do.
Yeah. See, I'm not hair still hasn't come out. Yeah, but that's when we met. And Shooks has been a fantastic guy. In the last 10 months when we have been training here, it has been such a satisfying thing for me to be his wingman. Mm-hmm. Okay, as a fighter pilot lingo.
Right.
And he's got that drive and that focus in him on what he wants in life. Mm-hmm. Once he decides, like, for example, to be the first Indian to go to the International Space Station,
right,
he puts that over there, focuses on it, puts his entire resources and his mind into it, removes all other obstacles, and he's there right now.
Well,
and that's what he is.
That's amazing and shows why he's in that pilot seat.
Yeah.
Tell me about the 10 months of training that you all went through. What was a point that stuck out to you? What was the overall experience like?
The overall experience was, I didn't know whether it was work. It was more like, coming to one big picnic, and imagine you're doing space training.
Yeah.
And in that, when you can actually make it really cool, at the same time professional, that has been our experience. It's been really marvelous, training with Axiom, NASA, SpaceX, with the other countries, and Peggy. It's been fantastic.
A legend. You get to train with a legend. Now, I have seen you do some of the training, but the food training, I think maybe was one of your favorites?
Yeah, well, you can't, the army marches on its stomach, right? Yeah, and we astronauts also fly to space on our stomach only, yeah. The food was the fantastic part, and we went for this Knowles training, National Outdoor Leadership School in
Where
Baja.
you really got to bond as a team.
It was fantastic, because we realized it's in such situations when we are kayaking and the weather was down and when the resources are low and the only thing we have to back on is each other. It was fantastic to know each other really threadbare. And it was beautiful, because these are those moments when you train as a team that we come to know not just the strong points, but the limitations.
Right.
Because when going to space or doing such kind of activity, the most important thing is to know your teammates' weak point so that you can be there to support him.
Right.
At that time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Papa, for being here. Good luck to you. Good luck to India. Good luck to the entire ISRO agency. We're here now, finally. Good luck.
No, definitely. Thank you for having me. And I want to, on behalf of Axiom and all, give a big shout out to my Prime Minister, my Chairman, my wife Lena, and my daughter Nandini, and my parents, and everyone back home. Thank you, everyone, and all my countrymen.
Indeed.
Jai Hind.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Well, let's meet our next crew member. We'll take a closer look at Sławomir Uznański-Wisniewski and the return to spaceflight for the nation of Poland. Sław is continuing and growing the partnership between Axiom Space and ESA. His scientific background and energetic spirit make him an incredible asset and truly engaging addition to this diverse crew.
I think both mountains and sailing, my head gets clear. I'm focused on how to choose my path.
How are you?
Good, very good.
Congratulations.
Second peak, 6,000 meters.
How does it feel?
Good, perfect.
How I see the world is out there for us to enjoy it. When we live, we try to understand, and actually this is a lifelong learning.
Representing Poland, ESA project astronaut Sławomir Uznański-Wisniewski.
Sławomir Uznański-Wisniewski. His name is a mouthful, so we quickly gave him the call sign Sław.
He is an engineer from CERN. He is a project astronaut. He is a mountaineer. He is a sailor. And he is so good looking after that.
Sław is surprised. He is a kind of guy whose country should be proud of.
We are the European Organization for Research, known as CERN.
What CERN does, CERN studies what the world is made of, colliding these particles and seeing what happens after and what are the smallest building blocks of nature. In my work as an engineer, I try to understand what happens around, how to build better systems, how to solve certain problems, and that's, I think, the way how I look at the world. In Europe, we had 5 selections for astronauts since the beginning of the European Space Agency. I followed some of the astronauts, for example, Luca Parmitano, when he was changing the cooling system of the AMS detector, the CERN design. I had no idea if it was going to happen during my life or not. I was a scientist, but I was always waiting for this possibility. And the opportunity came up in 2021 to apply, and then Poland chose to pursue a mission in 2023. That was that moment where the whole journey of me being an astronaut started.
After 50 years since General Mirosław Hermaszewski's mission, the second Poland space will be Sławomir Uznański.
This mission to the International Space Station is demonstrating the capabilities, but it's also demonstrating the ambition that Poland wants to contribute at the global scale. Today, I represent Poland, but also I represent a generation of Polish people to be able to contribute to technology and science at the global level. Space is for everyone. I am Sławomir Uznański-Wisniewski, ESA project astronaut from Poland.
I'm joined now by Frank Duin, ESA, ISS, and Terra Nove program manager. Thank you so much for being here. You've launched from Baikonur. How's it feel to be just yards from the clock here at Kennedy?
It feels great, of course, to be back here. We have, of course, launched already a lot of ESA astronauts here on SpaceX Crew Dragon missions, and so it's always great to be back.
Especially on a launch day, right?
Especially on a launch date, yes, certainly.
And this is your ESA's second time launching a project astronaut with Axiom Space. It's a new concept. What kind of lessons learned did you get from AX-3 the first time a project astronaut flew on an AX mission?
Well, the lessons learned that we had, of course, is that these missions can be extremely successful for ESA and for our member states. We can do a lot of science on those.